Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel where we provide you with clear, honest, and the latest information about the world of global finance and currency news. Today's topic has become a very hot subject across various online forums, social media platforms, and investor groups. And with entirely valid reason, people are consistently asking one crucial, central question. Is it genuinely possible to swap your 1,000 Iraqi dinar notes for the larger 25,000 notes at American banks? And a question of even greater importance, do banks in the United States currently recognize the Iraqi dinar for exchange in 2025? There is a huge amount of confusion circulating, along with plenty of speculation and a massive volume of unverified misinformation. But right now in this presentation, we are decisively cutting through all the background noise to reveal the actual truth, the current banking policies, and the officially verified procedure behind either selling or exchanging Iraqi dinar within the US today. So please make yourself comfortable, grab a fresh cup of coffee, because by the conclusion of this video, you will fully grasp every detail of this complex topic, covering everything from the various note sizes to how US banks process them and what the future may realistically hold. Let us begin by addressing the very first point. Many individuals who possess the Iraqi dinar, especially those holding the smaller 1,000 note denominations, frequently inquire whether they can simply trade or swap them for the much larger 25,000 notes. It sounds like an extremely straightforward process, doesn't it? But the reality is that major banks do not conduct business this way when dealing with foreign currency. American banks absolutely will not swap foreign note sizes. Instead, they will only buy or sell foreign currency based on the total monetary value, regardless of the note's specific denomination. Therefore, if you currently possess 25 1,000 dinar notes, or alternatively one single 25,000 dinar note, the total value remains exactly the same. Banks view all these denominations as having identical worth when performing a conversion into US dollars. Consequently, if you were to enter a branch of Bank of America, Chase, or Wells Fargo and request a denomination swap, they are simply not authorized to perform that type of exchange. They will always process it as a full buy-sell exchange transaction, not a mere note-for-note exchange. Now we should consider the origin of this frequent question. The primary reason for inquiries about exchanging smaller notes for larger ones is directly connected to speculation concerning a potential future redenomination or revaluation of Iraq's currency. Some hopeful holders incorrectly believe that if Iraq's currency rate changes or if new notes are introduced, certain denominations might potentially be easier to exchange or might retain more inherent value. But the undeniable truth is that currency systems and major banks do not function based on this premise. The exchange value is always strictly determined by the total dinar amount you possess, never by the physical size or denomination of the note. Thus, consolidating your entire dinar holding into larger notes absolutely does not generate any additional value. You are simply holding the identical total currency amount, just packaged in a different form. Let's discuss the actual, verifiable procedures at banks in the United States. In America, prominent financial entities such as U.S. Bank, Bank of America, PNC, Wells Fargo, and J.P. Morgan Chase all offer foreign exchange services. However, this is the key detail that most people fail to recognize. These particular banks do not maintain a large, direct inventory of Iraqi dinar on site. The dinar is not considered an actively traded currency on the massive global forex market, unlike the Japanese yen or the euro. This does not imply that the currency is worthless. It only means it is managed differently within the banking system. Consequently, the vast majority of U.S. banks rely entirely on authorized third-party currency processors to efficiently handle all dinar exchanges. When you present your notes to the bank, they must be verified, often sent out for comprehensive authentication. And if deemed acceptable, you will then receive the calculated equivalent value in US dollars. As of this year, 2025, the Iraqi dinar is still officially recognized as fully legal tender by the Central Bank of Iraq (CBI). The CBI has confirmed that all the major denominations, the 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, and 25,000 notes, remain entirely valid for circulation within Iraq. These notes are actively circulated daily throughout the country. Smaller denominations are generally used for everyday transactions, like transportation and food, whereas the larger notes are more commonly reserved for bigger purchases. But outside the country, in places like the United States, the physical note size holds no significance. The critical factor is always the total cumulative value when you perform an exchange. Therefore, regardless of whether you hold small or large notes, the official conversion rate will only calculate your total dinar amount into USD, and you will not receive extra payment for larger sized bills. Consider this simple analogy. If you were to enter a U.S. bank with a large stack of $1 bills and request a single $100 bill, the teller can certainly fulfill that request, but this is because it is U.S. currency operating within the same established system. Conversely, if you enter with 1,000 dinar notes and request a 25,000 dinar note, the swap is impossible because the bank neither issues nor prints Iraqi dinar. Their only available procedure is to submit the notes through their foreign currency partner. That partner is then responsible for determining the current rate and returning the US dollar equivalent value. This fundamental difference is precisely why denomination-specific swaps simply do not exist in foreign currency banking. If you genuinely want to know if your specific local bank can process the dinar, the quickest action is to call their foreign exchange or international department directly. Ask them these two clear questions. Do you currently buy or sell Iraqi dinar? And do you process the actual exchanges in branch or through a third-party service? Their responses will provide you with all the necessary and accurate information you need. Historically, some banks handled dinar directly, but many institutions suspended the service after 2020 because of increased risk and verification concerns. These policies are subject to change at any time, so always obtain a first-hand confirmation. You have likely encountered online discussions regarding Iraq's rumored delete the zeros plan. Let's clarify this concept. This concept does not mean physically removing zeros from your notes. It simply implies that the central bank might introduce a completely new currency structure, for example, changing 1,000 of the old dinar into one single new dinar. This action is technically known as a redenomination, not a revaluation. If such an event ever occurs, Iraq will permit its citizens to exchange old notes for the new currency inside the country for a predetermined period. For holders located outside of Iraq, like those in the U.S., the final exchangeability would depend heavily on whether international banking systems in U.S. banks are authorized to specifically handle those new notes. The issue of counterfeit dinar has been a significant and persistent problem for many years. Therefore, before even considering an exchange, you must ensure that your notes are unquestionably genuine. Check the watermark. When held up to light, an image of a horse's head should clearly appear. Run your fingers across the Arabic numerals. Genuine notes feature distinctly raised print under an ultraviolet light source. A subtle silver security thread should glow noticeably. You should also observe color-shifting ink on the corner numerals that change hue when the note is tilted. If your specific notes lack these vital features, do not attempt to take them to a bank. Instead, take them to a fully licensed currency dealer for proper verification first. If your primary bank does not handle the Iraqi dinar, do not despair. There are numerous licensed currency dealers operating across the United States that do offer this service. Reputable companies like Everbank, Currency Exchange International, CXI, and other NFA-registered providers are specialists in handling foreign currency. You can contact these providers directly, send your notes securely for a professional evaluation, and then receive your exchange value. You must ensure that the specific company is fully legitimate, registered, and properly insured. Always avoid any private exchanges or online offers that promise ridiculously high rates or access to secret buyback programs. These claims are simply not real. Both the Central Bank of Iraq and the U.S. Treasury have explicitly stated that all currency exchanges must be conducted solely through officially licensed financial institutions. There are no private tiers, no secret lists, and absolutely no hidden backroom deals in a legitimate exchange process. If and when the dinar becomes more actively traded globally, its rates will be fully displayed in official banking systems, and you will see the rates publicly posted on reliable banking websites and major financial news platforms. Anything contrary to that is pure speculation, not official policy. Let's quickly discuss the Iraqi dinar's actual current worth. As of this year, 2025, the dinar is trading at approximately 1,300 to 1 US dollar. This means that a single 25,000 dinar note is equivalent to about 19 US dollars. Could this rate change in the future? It is certainly possible. Iraq's national economy has been showing stabilization. Oil revenues are consistently increasing, and digital banking systems are undergoing major improvements. However, any eventual change in the official exchange rate will originate exclusively from the Central Bank of Iraq and will be confirmed through reliable global financial channels, not through unsubstantiated rumors. If major U.S. banks ever decide to fully resume complete Iraqi dinar exchange services, here is the standard procedure you should anticipate. You will be required to present valid identification, such as a passport or driver's license. You will need to complete a standard foreign currency exchange form. The bank will then verify the authenticity of your notes, either by checking them on site or by securely sending them to a certified processor. Once verification is complete, you will be given a receipt and the exchanged amount will be paid out or deposited in US dollars at the current publicly posted rate. That is the entire process. No secret contracts, no mystery, just a straightforward standard banking procedure. If you happen to hold a large volume of dinar, for example, several million, banks will necessitate extra documentation. This is a requirement due to specific Know Your Customer, KYC, and anti-money laundering, AML, regulations. These essential rules are in place to safeguard the financial system. Therefore, always retain your original purchase receipts, invoices, or any document that demonstrates the date and location where you bought your dinar, providing that proof will make any future exchanges legitimate and significantly smoother. Let's briefly debunk some persistent myths. Myth 1. Only a few specific banks can exchange dinar privately. This is completely false. Any properly licensed bank can handle the currency if their systems are set up to do so. Myth 2. You need a special code or appointment to make an exchange. This is also false. Genuine banks never require special codes. Myth 3. Some banks offer higher secret exchange rates. This is untrue. Exchange rates are determined by the public market, not by private side deals. And myth 4. Smaller notes will become completely worthless following a currency reform incorrect. All denominations are fully honored during a transition period. So, what is the most sensible action for a dinar holder in 2025? The solution is simple. Store your notes securely in a dry, safe location. Stay updated with only official CBI announcements, completely ignoring all rumor-based chat groups or blogs. Cultivate a relationship with your local bank's foreign exchange department and remain patient. Currency reforms necessitate time, but being well-informed ensures you will be completely ready when legitimate opportunities finally arise. It is absolutely worth noting that Iraq has achieved real, measurable progress over the last few years. Their national foreign reserves have now grown to over $100 billion. They are actively strengthening oil partnerships, improving various trade agreements, and implementing more comprehensive digital financial systems. These concerted efforts are designed to stabilize the dinar and more closely connect Iraq's economy to the international financial markets. While precise timelines are impossible to predict accurately, these improvements are clear signals of substantial, long-term economic potential. Let's face the truth. A huge amount of hype has continuously surrounded the Iraqi dinar for a decade. But reality dictates that the actual process is always much slower than the rumors suggest. International exchange systems, in particular, demand strict compliance, full verification, and extensive regulation. The dinar will not suddenly experience a massive overnight skyrocket. Any significant shift will occur through official, verified reform steps that are confirmed by both international banking systems and the Iraqi government. Patience, not panic, is the key to winning this game. If you are currently planning to exchange your dinar now or in the near future, here is your essential checklist. Step 1. Rigorously verify the authenticity of your physical notes. Step 2. Contact your bank's foreign exchange effects department and ask if they handle the dinar. Step 3. If your bank does not, locate a reputable, licensed currency dealer. Step 4. Always confirm the current, reliable exchange rates through official financial sources. Never hand your notes over to unverified websites or agents that promise secret buyback programs. The most crucial action you can take as a dinar holder is to remain informed through exclusively reliable channels. The Central Bank of Iraq, major banking websites, Bloomberg, and Reuters will always be the first sources to reflect genuine changes. Never rely on private intel calls or unverified online chat rumors. Real financial updates always originate from institutions, not mere predictions. So let us conclude with absolute clarity. U.S. banks will not swap your 1,000 for 25,000 dinar notes. They only handle the total cumulative dinar value, irrespective of note sizes. Some banks in the U.S. can still process or buy the dinar through trusted third-party partners, but this is always a case-by-case determination. The Central Bank of Iraq is the singular authority that determines all currency policies. Therefore, stay informed, stay calm, and never rush based on speculative rumor. The more comprehensive your knowledge, the better prepared you will be when a genuine change occurs. Today's report may well be the most critical information we have ever covered. Unverified reports are spreading quickly that a powerful directive, quietly linked to President Donald Trump, has reportedly mandated that Iraq's currency should move within 5% of par with the US dollar. If this information is accurate, it would indicate that the Iraqi dinar is preparing to re-enter the world financial stage at a valuation point that very few ever believed was achievable. Stay with us until the absolute end, because the complete, unverified story behind this alleged executive order could fundamentally change your entire perspective on Iraq's economic trajectory. Over the last few months, financial observers and insiders have been heavily focused on unusual communication activity connecting Iraqi and U.S. Treasury networks. The technical phrase "within 5% parity" has repeatedly surfaced in quiet banking chatter and internal briefings. In simplified terms, this means the currency of Iraq might soon be pegged remarkably close to $1, potentially settling in a tight band between $4.75 and $5.25 per dinar. Such an immediate, massive movement would instantly transform Iraq's essential standing in all international trade. For many years, experienced analysts have argued that Iraq's entire economy was significantly undervalued relative to its massive gold reserves and oil wealth. Now, mounting evidence suggests that these true underlying values are finally being recognized and acted upon on a global scale. Let us meticulously analyze this concept. The highly technical concept of par within 5% is not mere random speculation. It is specialized, technical language frequently employed by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, when a nation is transitioning to a managed currency band. Essentially, the central bank grants the currency permission to fluctuate slightly below or above a specific target exchange rate while simultaneously maintaining core stability. If the nation of Iraq adheres to this specific model, its currency could stabilize near a full dollar rate, yet retain enough practical flexibility to effectively encourage both investment and international trade. For average citizens and long-term investors alike, this would immediately signal a truly historic shift after decades of financial uncertainty and long periods of wartime reconstruction. Observers are pointing out that Iraq has been deliberately working toward this precise moment for many years. The Central Bank of Iraq has fully modernized its essential digital payment systems, successfully joined the crucial international SWIFT network, and established partnerships with major U.S. banks, including Citibank and J.P. Morgan, to significantly improve transaction settlement speed. Furthermore, the government has launched comprehensive anti-corruption initiatives and intentionally removed older, outdated large-denomination notes from circulation. These are not minor, inconsequential reforms. They represent the absolutely necessary technical groundwork required before any country can sustain a globally recognized, strong currency rate. Every single one of these changes has systematically reinforced both confidence and transparency, two critical elements that the international community demands before approving any major currency valuation shifts. What makes this evolving narrative even more intriguing is the reported involvement of senior U.S. financial advisors and officials who have made numerous trips to Baghdad recently. High-level meetings with Central Bank Governor Al-Alaq and Prime Minister al-Sudani reportedly focused on a wide range of issues, including preparing for international trade settlements outside a heavy dependence on U.S. cash, comprehensive currency reform, and tighter dollar flow control. When you strategically combine all these recent developments with the persistent talk of a U.S.-backed parity directive, all the separate pieces start to strongly suggest a larger, meticulously coordinated plan is being executed.